I'm about an hour and a half north of Pittsburgh on a large forestry operation owned by the Hickman family. The Hickmans have been cutting trees from this land for 4 generations to feed their sawmills. But it's the way that they cut the trees that has brought me here. The Hickmans will only cut trees in a sustainable fashion. Jessica, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Kevin.
Thanks for having me out here.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
So tell me about this sustainability and your guys' certification. What does that mean for your operation?
Yeah, it's really important for us to be sustainable. We're FSC certified.
So that's Forest
Stewardship Council.
Okay.
Basically, we want to make sure we're growing more than we're harvesting.
Oh, really?
Right. Yeah.
So there's more growth coming out of this forest than what you're taking out?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
absolutely. I mean, we've recently cut here and you can look out and there's still a lot of trees.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
Yeah, no, this does not look like a logging operation at
Yeah.
all. What else does it mean to be certified?
We'll leave standing timber that's dead, like for a den. You know, if there's critters that are living in it, we'll leave that dead tree
Right.
for the animals. So that's part of it as well. Yeah. Also, you know, and then what goes to the marketplace. You know, that's a big thing with the FSC is so that you as a consumer know that you're purchasing products from a sustainable, well-managed forest.
So you're required to have some sort of a chain of control.
Absolutely.
So that I know
There's
when
a
I buy
lot
it
of
there.
paperwork with it.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. So back in the 1940s, my great-grandfather actually clear-cut this property during the war, you know. So my grandfather here, this is Pop Larry.
Pop Larry, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Pleasure.
This is Kevin.
So clear cut at one point by your dad, and then it looks like you changed up the routine.
Well, yeah, it regenerated very nicely, and not only that, but it maintains a continuous supply of product throughout the year. And what we do by doing that is maintain a certain cubic feet per acre, which creates the maximum growth.
So what is coming down today? Is this one of the ones
Well,
that you
we
guys...
selected this tree right here because it's a mature red oak. So by taking this out, it'll let the sunlight in and it'll release seedlings and they'll start to grow. It's a continuous process, clear from the acorn up.
Okay. So now that you see it down, what do you think of that piece of lumber?
I think it's beautiful. About 700 square feet of flooring could be made out of that log.
Really? Can you guess how old that is?
It's probably 80 years old.
So that came up from the original clear cut.
And so that's a large enough log to quarter saw, right?
Yeah, that log will quarter saw.
Along with this harvest, Jessica and I made our way to the sawmill run by her brother Jake.
Goes from here straight to the debarker.
To prep the log and to protect the downstream mill blades, the debarker makes short work of the coarse exterior, which in turn is sold off to landscapers as mulch. From here, the logs progress inside to the mill and are turned into cants by the head saw.
A can is a log that's been squared on all 4 sides. Makes it easier for the resaws to cut it.
Big operation.
Yeah. All right, so this is the big resaw. This is where the cant comes after the head saw. So the guy marking the board is giving instructions to the guy in the box to tell him how to cut it.
Because each one of these cants that we have up here, some of them are going to be plain sawn and some are going to be quarter sawn, and you know, so every one is different, and that guy marking it's giving the direction.
So now he's just cutting one board at a time?
One board at a time, comes back around and cuts one board again. The boards come down and some of them have wane on them, which is bark or lack of wood. They go through the saw and clean up the sides.
And so what's going on down here?
So down here, these guys are basically doing what the marks tell them to do. They're separating the lengths, and from down here, it's ready to be dried.
Man, this is a lot of wood.
Yeah, so this is where it comes to get dried. It may not be the most exciting part about what happens at the sawmill, but it may be one of the most important parts.
Right.
And it might sit out in the air drying yard for up to a year.
Wow. So, I mean, how wet is the wood when it's green? Like, what percentage moisture?
It could be 80% moisture content, and then we need to get it dried down to 6% for our flooring. That's what we dry it to.
So air dry and then eventually into a kiln?
Right. The kiln is right behind this stack of lumber.
Yeah. How long can our flooring be in the kiln?
About a month.
Yeah, the quarter sawn flooring that you guys have that can take up to 2 months if it was green going in.
So a lot of drying goes on with this wood.
Yep.
And once it's dry, we're off to where?
We're off to the flooring plants.
Now dried, our rough sawn lumber begins to be dressed out to flooring. It gets scanned, sorted, planed, and trued before heading off to a finer milling. Jessica and I meet up with her dad, who'll take us through the milling process.
So what we have here is what we saw in the lower building. Ripped and quartered white oak, surface to 15/16, ripped to 4.5 inches wide.
Okay.
Ready to come into the molder. Okay, this molder is a 6-head machine, 6 different heads in here. Jack is picking which face, comes through upside down. First head is just a hogging head, takes a little bit of wood off.
Off the face side.
Off the face side,
Yep.
yes. Second head puts the groove. Third head puts the tongue. Fourth head is just a hogging head, taking some off of the bottom side. The fifth head puts the relief cut on it.
Yep.
And then the last head is just a finish head on the face. So what's happening here is Tim is chopping out unsound defects, okay? We've got a clear grade, we've got a natural grade. Sound knots will be allowed in. What we're chopping out is anything that you wouldn't want in your floor.
A check, a split, maybe a hole in the wood.
Exactly. So after the chop saw, the flooring comes out here. These guys are doing the grade separations.
That is some good looking stuff right there.
Pretty nice stuff. Okay, Kevin, so this is our last step. Air grabs the board. We have a saw cuts it square. There's 2 horizontal saws that put a tongue on this side. The rollers take it to the other side. Same thing happens. The groove is put on the opposite side. From there, it goes over, is made into nested bundles, packaged, ready to put on a truck.
Next stop, our house, huh?
Next stop, your house, right?
Denny, thank you very much. Thank you to the whole family. We love knowing where our hardwood floors came from.
Cool.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.